Okay, so we are live now. So let's give it 5 minutes. We would start properly.
All right, no problem. All right, so I was going to go like it's more than 5 minutes, so I do think that person is still trying to. John, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Okay. All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to a second edition of this series that is focused around DeFi, NFTs, GameFi, and the trends around the cryptocurrency and blockchain industry. Okay. I'd like to welcome everyone. and especially welcome our guests speaker today, who is Altcoindaddy. So you're very very much welcome, sir, to this live session. If you can hear me,
Yeah, sure, I can hear you.
all right, awesome. So without wasting, without further ado, I'd like us to begin this program as we expect others to join and also others to catch up with this event. So all right, so today's topic will be focused on DeFi. While last week or last event or last edition of this series, we looked at NFT. The video is on YouTube here. You can always make reference to it. So today's edition, it's focused on DeFi. So a lot of persons have been talking about DeFi. Some persons don't understand what DeFi is, and some would be hearing it for the first time today. So it's important that we understand the basics of what DeFi is before we talk about anything that has to do with DeFi. And um, we have someone who is very vast in the topic, in the area of DeFi here, Altcoindaddy. So he'll be sharing some great insight about DeFi, okay, and the opportunities, like the topic says, exploring DeFi. So we'll be exploring some of the insight and the opportunities around this industry. Okay, so Mr. Altcoin Daddy.
Yeah, sure, I'm with you. With you.
All right. So how would you explain the concept of DeFi? Okay, that's decentralized finance. Okay, to someone hearing it for the first time. Okay, like I said, some persons might be hearing it for the first time, or some may just have a very fair knowledge about DeFi. So how would you explain it? What DeFi, decentralized finance, is to someone, okay, who is hearing it for the first time?
Okay. Before I explain before I just go into the whole stuff, like start dishing out values, I think it's very important and necessary for me to explain myself first. What do I mean by that? Like I need to introduce myself and let the people know who they are talking to. Forget about my funny avatar. If someone who has a funny face, don't have a fine face. So let me start by saying my name is Altcoindaddy, the only daddy that has plenty children but don't have a biological child. And I would like to see I'm a DeFi expert. Let's just stop there for now. So at least you know my name. That's the most important thing. Now talking about DeFi, let's start by breaking the word down. DeFi. You know, when someone hear about DeFi for the first time, what comes to the person mind is decentralized finance. You understand, but it is more than that. It's more than that. So let's try to break the two words down, D and five. D and five. Now this is just the relationship between decentralization and finance. You get it. So if you able to place both words side by side, you will understand where we are heading to. So when we talk about DeFi, just understand this that we are talking about something that is controlled by no one and it has to do with finance. You get it. So that is what a common man should understand. Now, haven't placed that picture in our mind and we have a clearer vision of where we are heading to. So we should also see DeFi to be a family name for financial products. Understand? It should be seen as a family name for financial products. What do I mean by that? Lending is a financial product, borrowing is a financial product, staking is a financial product. You understand? So any of those things we can actually do in the decentralized world have everything to do with DeFi. You get it. So I don't know if it is sounding complicated, but I'm just trying to be as simple as possible. Like John, are you getting the picture?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, I should go ahead or I should pause a little bit.
Okay, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead in your explanation. Let me not interrupt you early.
All right. So now we're saying something about collective name for financial products. And I made mention of borrowing, I made mention of lending, I made mention of staking, or I've not mentioned yield farming. You understand? So any of these products we can actually use, any of these products we can actually use in the decentralized protocol. It's just a way of you interacting with the DeFi environment. And in a clearer sense, when we say DeFi, decentralized finance, this is just an open source, an open source, will I call it environment, will I call it market that is not being controlled by anybody or any single authority. But the big question is always this now. How decentralized is DeFi? How centralized is DeFi? Is DeFi completely centralized or is DeFi semi-decentralized and semi-centralized? You see, when you start asking these questions now, you will not get to understand now that DeFi have everything to do with all these things I have said. So let me pause a little bit and allow you to talk. So you can go.
Okay, so you make mention about staking, lending, and borrowing, and all of that. Um, can you throw a bit light on those products that
Okay, good, good. That's actually a very nice one. But before I do that, since I've introduced DeFi, you understand, it's it's not very okay for us to actually talk about those products without discussing something. And I think we need to discuss now is the financial system. You understand? We need to talk about the financial system because it is very, very important. That is what will actually pave way for us to know where we are heading to. Now, when we talk about, it's just so unfortunate that I can't interact with the audience. Like, I can't touch because my class is always interactive. I get to ask questions, then people respond back. So when you respond back, it is from what you respond, I'll know, okay, you have knowledge about this thing, you don't have knowledge about it. But anyway, I'll just try to cope. So you'll be my student since I can hear you
okay?
and you can hear me.
So if you have a question, you could always leave it on the comment section, and we will do well to respond to your questions. Okay, you can
So,
go on.
all right, so talking about the financial system, I'll start by asking you that question. What do you understand by the financial system?
When you talk about the financial system, okay, that could it's an umbrella term, okay, of
I cannot hear you again. I cannot hear you. Your mic is muted.
Oh, okay, okay. So I was saying, when you talk about financial system, um, I like us to draw attention to traditional banking system. Okay, and you know what you can do with the traditional banking system. You could save money. Okay, you could send money to people. You could borrow. You could also lend money. Okay, and all this is within the traditional financial system. So in the same way, also DeFi. DeFi also tries to do what we could do in the traditional banking system, but this time around on a decentralized platform that is powered by the blockchain technology. Okay.
Okay, okay, okay. That's actually cool. That's actually cool. All right. Okay. Let's talk about something. You see,
Okay.
when we are talking about the um, financial system, you get it. The financial system is very, very broad. Like It's very, very broad. Very, very broad. So since it's very broad, we are not going to cover those broad aspects like stock, any other thing, dividend banking, and the rest of. So let's just draw attention to the banking sector. Do you understand? So if we are drawing attention to the banking sector, let's not forget about the traditional banking system. But I want us to get something very right that if the the former was very okay, there will not be need for the later. Do you understand? And
Okay.
if the later can exist on its own, then would have thrown the former away. Do you understand it? So now there's actually a very big relationship between the former and the later. That is the traditional banking system and the decentralized banking system. Now listen very well. We are still using the banking system because we are not going to cover every aspect of the financial system because it's very, very broad. Now we see during the ancient time where or current time where we could oh let's just during the ancient time where people started having this sense about money, people started having places where they could actually safeguard their valuables. You understand? People kept their money in a hole. People kept their money in a piggy bank. People tied their money in different places. You understand? So in the long run, we had something called bank. We had something called bank where people could store their valuables and everything. Now, but there is always a problem. There's always a problem with the traditional bank. Now, come to think of it this way, you sleep peacefully with your account loaded, and you wake up one morning and you charge for a transaction you did not do. You are charged for a transaction you did not do, and all of a sudden you try to interact with the customer care, and they tell you your card was used at the POS. A whole lot of things happen. So the traditional banking system was actually very faulty. But that does not mean the instruments or the product we have in the decentralized banking system is not on the traditional banking system. You get it? You get it. So in the traditional banking system, we have borrowing, we have lending, we have staking, which have to do with the fixed deposit. Yeah, that's staking. You understand? But you still get to see now that the centralized authorities still get to steal from you and they don't have a proper way of keeping your financial record. You understand? So now people talked about this that okay, since we say the blockchain is actually a storage device, you understand? It's actually a storage device that is decentralized in nature and it lives online. So there is every need for us to do a whole different thing. Now people started looking beyond cryptocurrency. You get it? That is just one aspect of the blockchain. Someone now said, okay, if someone have deposited cryptocurrency on the blockchain, let's have a shift and deposit banks on the blockchain. Now where people can store their money, where people can have every transaction, like where people can have their financial record recorded on chain. That was how we came about decentralized banks. Do you understand? So now we are still trying to get the relationship between the traditional banking system and the decentralized banking system. So now, in the long run, people started saying, okay, we can have the borrowing, we can have the borrowing, we can have the borrowing, we can have no, it's you can have the borrowing, you can have the staking, you can have the lending on the blockchain. Let's have these things done on the blockchain. You understand? And let's call it decentralized finance. because you will be able to take action. Sorry, be able to take responsibilities for your actions. You get it? So, but that does not mean the traditional banking system is not important. It's very, very important. Don't quote me wrong. You understand? Because without it, we can live our life very large. You understand? It's because we have it. That's why we're able to interact with our fiat and the rest of. Because crypto is not widely accepted. You understand? So for you not to be cheated by the centralized authority, for you not to have the issues a whole lot of people are having, so people now said, okay, let's let's interact with this decentralized authority. You get it? Let's interact with this decentralized authority. Everything that is happening in the centralized authority, let it happen in the decentralized world. So let's stop saving our money in the bank because it will lose value within a short period of time. Let's look for a way to save our money. But the big question somebody will ask is this: if you're saying this thing is decentralized and nobody controls it, so won't somebody cheat the system? You get it? That's always been a very big question people get to ask. Won't somebody cheat the system? Yeah, well, someone cannot actually cheat the system to get it because the system operates with what we call smart contracts, just a written statement on the blockchain to actually execute a particular action. That's how we explain it. So now, I haven't drawn this picture. I'll still go back to your question. That is, I should throw more light on lending, borrowing, and staking. I'll still go back to that. But I want our audience to
Okay.
have.
Um,
Okay, go ahead.
okay. I think this is a follow-up question to what you just explained so far. Okay, about decentralized finance and centralized finance. Okay.
Okay.
Different decentralized finance. Okay. Protocols. Platforms. Name it whatever. Okay, were created to somewhat decentralize financial systems. Okay. Especially when it has to do with eliminating the expensive middleman in the process. Okay. We know the several challenges we experience within traditional financial system. Okay, so what decentralized finance so far has been trying to do was to fill in these gaps. Okay, so the big question here is, has this whole process of decentralized finance been achieved? Okay, over the time.
Oh well, if the answer is yes, the answer is no. You understand? That is a very dicey question to actually jump into and say yes or no.
Okay,
Because we still have some limitation. You get it? We still have so many limitations. That's why I said what I said before now. That is DeFi completely centralized? Is it completely decentralized? Is it semi-centralized? Is it semi-decentralized? Or is it completely decentralized? Do you understand?
okay,
So, so there is more to that question. Do you understand? Why I will say yes, and why I'll give you the reasons why I will say yes, and I'll also give you the reasons why I will say no. Do you understand? Why I will say yes is this. Um, During the period of the DeFi craze, because we have different trends in the blockchain now, I think it's the metaverse and the NFT craze. But that
okay.
does not mean people are not talking about DeFi and the rest
Of
of
course,
people
yeah,
still make
and,
yeah, people still make money from DeFi. You understand?
and that's
So
why we have
now,
this conversation.
yeah, so now people have been able to people have been able to see, okay, over a long period of time, that they can actually get value for their money. You understand? They no longer rely on decentralized authority for so many things. You get it? DeFi has been able to achieve that. So you just hear a whole lot of persons hardly, like, you get calls every day from clients talking to you about the financial markets in a whole. And someone will get to ask you, okay, where do you think I should put my money now? Because I want to put my money where my mouth is. You understand? You mentioned sticking to that person. So you can just stick your USDT on Binance or PancakeSwap anywhere. You understand? So over a very long period of time, like DeFi has been able to achieve that. You understand? Helping people to save and also to make gain from their saving without reducing their money. Because when you stick $100 in the bank this year, when you go back to the bank to get your $100 next year and decide to use your $100 to buy a stable coin, it's not going to give you the same value that you get now. You get so over a long period of time, fiat is losing value, and people are converting their savings to the decentralized authority. So DeFi has been able to achieve that over a long period of time. And the reason why I said no, that the decentralized finance has not been Right. That decentralized finance has not been able to achieve all of this is just because of so many things going around it. Like, is it completely centralized? Is it decentralized? Is it semi-decentralized? So that whole lot of question has been running in people's mind. So DeFi has not been able to achieve all of this. Now let's take this for instance. You decide to interact with a lending protocol like Compound Finance and you see DeFi is decentralized. What happened to compound finance allowing you to set your APR or APY? Do you understand? They don't allow you to set all of that. You get it. So that has actually been one of the limitations. You understand? And you go to PancakeSwap to provide liquidity for a particular token because of volatility, that is inconsistency in the movement of price of digital assets. You get to see when you redeem your asset, it might not really have that same value you placed there. So this has actually been a problem. So we can't balance this thing. So it's just a game of who comes early make the bigger money. And when the market is moving in a haphazard manner, it affects the other person. So this thing has been achieved and it has not been achieved. You just need to look at it in both ways. That's it.
Okay. That was a brilliant response. All right. So let's move on to the next. So when we talk about DeFi, we most likely to come in terms with the word TVL. That's total value locked. Okay.
Okay.
They combine. Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm with you.
All right. So the combined total value of DeFi protocols, okay, grew exceptionally faster between 2020 to 2021. Okay, 2020 was the year when we had the DeFi boom, when a lot of DeFi projects were, coming up. People made a lot of money. People lose a lot of money. Personally, I made some money. I also lose some money too. Okay, from a lot of DeFi projects. So that was the year where we saw the DeFi boom. Okay, at the start of 2020, the combined total value locked of DeFi. Okay, when we talk about the combined total value, I'm sure he will throw more light on that. But what that means is that okay, the total amount of money that has been locked in the lending, staking, or in the yield farming protocol. Okay, that's the total value locked. So the total value across those platforms was around as of early 2020 was around $630 million. More than half of that was from one protocol, which is a MakerDAO. Okay, currently, as of recently, when I checked before I came up with this, if I checked recently when I checked, the total value was over 200 billion. Okay, total value locked. So now the question here is, what insight does this value? Okay, when you look at when we came from a total value of 630 million. Okay, to currently now 200 over 200 billion. Okay, 200 and something billion currently right now. Okay, so what insight does this whole value give to the DeFi ecosystem? Okay.
Okay, okay. Now trying to compare the two figures. You get to
Mm.
say something about 630 million, right?
Yeah, yeah, at the beginning of 2020.
and you said something about 241 billion USD.
Over 200 billion.
Uh, okay, over 200 billion USD.
Okay, yeah.
Now, when we get to understand that, when you look at this, uh, what signal is this thing trying to send? You get it? So, what we understand now that people are no longer foolish. You understand? That is what I'm trying to say is this now that this is actually a very big signal now that you should try to utilize your money properly. You should try to like jump in when other people are early. Now, if you look at the total value lock, that's a whole lot of money. You understand? Growing from million to billions within a short period of time is not even up to 2 years. You understand? So that means people have actually seen the value. You get it? People have actually seen like there is more to this particular protocol. You understand? Like because I believe a whole lot of thing is done in Macadao. A whole lot of thing is done in Macadao. You understand? So you can stick your stable coin there. You can drop your whichever thing you want to drop. Some of us interact with that particular protocol. So a whole lot of things is actually happening there. So what this signal is giving us is this now that the decentralized finance has actually come to stay and it will always grow bigger. You get it? It will always grow bigger. Forget about the scam, forget about the fraud. It's always grow bigger. So if you understand how the market works, personally, I don't really keep assets. You understand? I just put my money in stable coin and find somewhere to stake it because I believe in a very long period of time, the dollar will always grow over naira. So within a short period of time, I can always go on stake my stable coin and use them while I focus on my dev career. You get it? So people just need to start interacting with this because it's going to be bigger than this. Truth be told, it's going to be bigger than this. So if within a short period of time, these guys were able to get this amount of money locked in their protocol, then that sends a signal that more is actually coming in because people have seen the value. You get it? People have seen like our banks cannot give us the rate like we want. It's just like I opened my Twitter app the other day and they said something like if you save 50,000 naira, they are going to give you this 6%. Let me be sure. Let me get, is it? I can't really get. It was 6% or something like that after 1 year. And I'm like, I'll give you my money for 365 days and you hold it. And then after 365 days, you give me 6% of my money. The 6% of whichever thing I stick with you, which cannot even solve my phone in the long run. So you see, people are beginning to realize that, and people need where they can get a whole lot. So let's see, at the end of that 1 year, I stake my 50K with Huda, and you, truth be told, the money is going to lose value with the way things
Inflation.
are going right now. Yeah, the money is going to lose value. And when I'm able to redeem my 50K, I will not be able to buy things I'm supposed to buy with the 50K currently. The price will triple. If you get it. Now come to think of it, I have 50K, like I don't know what to do with it. I decided to go buy USDT, maybe less than $100. That's less than 100 pieces of USDT. And I decided to go stake it in Macadao. After staking it, I just forget about it. With the APR run, I just come back. I still have extra USDT, and my USDT still have value. When I sell it, I'm going to have more than what I'm going to have from Kuda. You get it? My money I gave to the Makadao bank would be bigger than what I gave to the Kuda bank. So people are beginning to see the this thing, the differences between all this stuff and they are like this thing is beginning to draw their attention. So if I have 1,000 US dollars, let me not save it in the bank. Let me look for where to save it. You get it? So that is just it. So it's going to be bigger. It's going to be bigger than this. So maybe in the long run, still check the stats, you still see that it will increase. You understand, it will increase more than this. So that's just a big signal it's sending to people that a whole lot of persons will still come into it. That's just it.
Okay, so the bottom line is that um, people just realize that there's more okay they could do with their money, more than just keeping it in the bank. Where the bank will have debits you for charges and all of that, and then your money is being affected by inflation. So instead of that, people rather put their money to somewhere they can receive I mean good returns from their money, and that's what decentralized finance okay actually offers okay to people in the ecosystem. So, well, hopefully, I believe that value would increase more than that in the coming years. Okay,
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure.
yeah.
Very true.
So, that leads me to asking what are the likely opportunities okay we can expect from or what are the likely opportunities this ecosystem what the likely opportunities DeFi offers us okay currently and in the future. Okay, looking at that figure, I mean it's a whole lot of money that it's actually there. So it actually signals that there are opportunities that people can look into, all right, in this ecosystem.
Yeah, 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 sure, sure. There is a whole lot in DeFi. You understand? DeFi offers a whole lot of opportunity. You get it? DeFi offers a whole lot of opportunities for how will I put it? When I started, when I started when I started being serious with blockchain, you understand? When I started being serious with blockchain, and then I started talking to people about different things and how they can actually navigate the the financial market. And then I always introduce DeFi to civil servants. You understand? I always always introduce DeFi to civil servants because it gives them a whole lot of opportunities and that opportunity we are going to talk about now. We'll talk about our opportunity. It's not everyone who can actually who can actually uh, who can actually read the chat. And, but there are people who don't read the chat. They're just seated there. They're just seated there looking at their money is working for them. Let me tell you a story before I share this opportunity. And there was this man, you know Skyro, right?
Yeah, I know him.
Okay, there was this man we met, and that was when cake was still less than $1.
Okay.
That was when cake was still less than $1. Then he bought cake with was it 1 point something million naira back then, and that gave him thousands of cake. That gave him thousands of cake, and that gave him thousands of cake, and he picked that cake. After I told him, don't sell this cake for any reason. You understand? Because something was about to happen. Then that day we traveled to Calabar. We were traveling. There was, was it December? December 2019. Yeah, December 2019. We were traveling to Calabar then. Then uh, we got a call from the man, and he said he wanted to sell his cake. No, he said he has sold the cake. Then he made that was when cake was rising. You
Okay.
understand? And Pancake Swap still have nice APR back then. Like so he made more money from the staking. He made money from the staking. I think within a short period of time he was able to realize like extra 100 USD or 200. Like the money was much back then if it was converted to Naira. Then he had half a price of that cake, half a price. like as his gain because cake was appreciating in value also. So that was why he sold everything and he thought that was the end of it. Now it got to a point. It got to a point cake got to $40 per one. That was earlier last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, cake got to $40 per one earlier last year. And then we calculated the money he was supposed to have, and this man would have had like 100,000 US dollar. You understand?
So he missed out on the opportunity.
Yeah, he would have if he would have had like 100,000 US dollars after calculating the whole money. And then it was actually funny. So if you check the current rates now, okay, let's just do this math. So the reason why I'm telling you this story now is for people not to joke with opportunities in DeFi because it's always coming like a wildfire. And if you can't grab it, you will always regret it. I'll still tell you another story. Don't forget people learn by other people experience. You know, I'll tell you. So
Sorry,
if we to
have you had
calculate,
this?
okay, go ahead.
Yeah, have you had this experience with DeFi protocol where when they come out initially they always having high APR, but as time go by they begin to reduce it. Let's say when they came out they were giving out 100 and something percent APR. Then as more people join
Yeah,
into the protocol, start dropping from 100 and something, let's say to 80 something,
yeah,
50
yeah, it
something,
begins to reduce.
and
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Uh, I'll tell you the reason for that. I'll tell you the reason for that. But let's not mix the stuff. Let's finish. Let's take it one step at a time. Let's take it one step at a time because I believe people really want to listen to the opportunities. I'll get to talk about the APR, why it reduces and the rest of. You understand? Okay, so let's just use the standard value. Let's say we use 550 for that calculation, and someone is having about 100,000. That is 55 million naira with just
Okay.
with just 2 million. You understand? So I don't think if you have that kind of money, like you would have done a whole lot. You get it. Now that is the first story. The second story was about a man who had about 100 BNB and he decided to sell all and sold and he remained 20 BNB. He was left with 20. I asked him to stick the 20 and leave it. Then we decided to buy cake. Then we had about 3,000 cake. We had about 3,000 cake. Then we're a week, we were able to realize like $16 a week from the staking, and the cake was still appreciating in value. You get it? So what I do is just go convert the money from him, stick back the cake, turn the gain to cake. Like we're making a whole lot of money weekly. So it was like a weekly business. So I told him, okay, like don't sell this cake. You get it. Don't sell this cake. Don't sell the BNB. Just leave it. Now, I think we got that cake $15 then per one. So I was sleeping one morning. He called me and said, Afia, come to the house. We want to discuss something. I went to the house and I said, I want to unstick this cake and sell it. When cake goes down, I'll buy more. And I said, no. So he persuaded me. In the long run, it's not your money, it's somebody's money, you understand? And this person is an elderly somebody, so you just need to respect his decision. So I said,
Okay.
okay, fine. I sold the cake for him, and after selling the cake, converted everything, and he said, give me your account number, and he sent me about something dollars for transport, plus other stuff. Then I left. 2 days later, he called me, he was crying. And I said, so I was wrong. He said, man, I've made the biggest mistake of my life. I was like, what is it? He said, I should have listened to you to just take my cake. Like, cake is rising, cake is not coming down. So, do you think I should buy again? I said, sir, I don't know. because that's the answer I always give. I don't know. So when when DeFi offers you some opportunity, like when you get to meet the staking opportunity, of course, there are some projects which are good, some are not good, some will fade away within a short period of time. You understand? So when you're able to get a very nice opportunity in the staking industry, you get it, that you're able to stake a particular token and you're able to have a tiny piece in a long period of time. If you actually see that people are that particular project is getting attention, if you get it, stake more, don't sell. Now, if you get to a particular point, now we've gotten to a place where people can no longer stake because people will begin to understand that there is no more to this particular project again. I'll use PancakeSwap for instance. I'll use PancakeSwap for instance. You see, PancakeSwap failed because of one reason. You get it? Now people were shouting cake is the future, but cake was not the future. You get it? Now, the more people begin to understand blockchain, the more irrelevant a particular project begins to become. Let's take PancakeSwap for instance. People were talking about staking high APR and the rest of they were making money. Now it was spreading like wildfire. People were staking cake. So you just need to follow the trend and queue into that opportunity. But people now understood that PancakeSwap have nothing to offer. Forget about helping you to swap your shit coin, swap other coin. PancakeSwap have nothing to offer. Why did I say so? In PancakeSwap, you don't pay gas fee with cake. You get it? You pay gas fee with BNB. So that is another point now. So people decided to say, let's take more BNB than cake. That is why when you go to MakerDAO, you see people stake more ETH and more USDT than any other coin because that is that is what is actually trending. So people are looking at the opportunity. So if I'm keeping more BNB, I'm staking more BNB. People get to build more projects on the BNB chain, and my BNB is going to increase in value. I will have more, and people are going to pay gas fee to in Pancake Swap, and they're going to pay this gas fee with BNB. They are not going to pay with cake. So people started dropping cake. You get it? So sometimes the opportunity does not really last long. You just wait for it to get to get to the resistance. Then you pull out and look for other opportunities. So be it in the staking aspect, be it in the lending aspect, there is always opportunity, but it's just for you to spot the right one at the right time. If you get it. So the best thing for me to stake currently now is just to stake my BNB, stake my ETH. I know, yeah, people will build projects. You get it? People will build, people will pay gas fees. And that is still the same problem Uniswap is having. People don't pay gas fee with the unit token, but they pay gas fee with ETH, giving
ETH.
giving ETH more value. You get it? So just look for all these nice blockchain products and stick them somewhere. You understand? Because apart from the staking, if you put your money there, that is where your mouth is. You understand? So it's always come by for you. It's always come by for you. Always come by for you. So if you look at it, there was a period, 2019, BNB was less than $5. You get it? It was less than $5, $10 within that range. You can check. But now, where is it today? You get it? So when the opportunity was there, people started staking cake, and cake got to $45. Today, where is cake? Definitely, cake might still drop more, and the APRs are no more there again. So just for you to have a shift. So the opportunity there is always the shift and understand how these things work. So that is just the way it is. So now going back to what you asked, like why is it that in the long run this thing tends to have more value? in a short while, it does not have the same value that it had before then. This is the this is the simple truth. The big value is just to lure people to come. You understand? To so that you be able to sell your market. You get it? Now, when people understand that this particular platform does not have a relevant value to offer again, truth be told, we are we've gone far beyond. We're no more in the era of buying anything. That anything will go to the moon. You can't send everything to the moon. In fact, currently now, not everything goes to the moon. The moon will not accept. Now we are now in the era of yeah, the moon will not accept. We are now in the era of use cases. You get it. So that is why even when I give my blockchain classes, I tell people build a product that your token will be used in that platform. Let your token have demand. Don't build a product that another token will decide a factor in your own platform. You get it? So when people begin to understand, okay, it's just like this, it's just like calf swap. Do you know about calf swap?
Yeah.
Yeah, calf swap. Just like calf swap. When they have brew, they have macho, they have all plenty kind of things. And people decide to see, oh, this thing is not really used for anything. So why would I hodl? In a long period of time, people will not get to buy again. And when people are beginning to have that shift, the company, of course, they want to make money. You get it, and attract more people. So in the long run, they won't be able to like pay up all those stuff, get this thing. So, and volatility again is affecting the market. Everything begins to drop because I can't give you 500 APR while my token is less than $1. You get it? Like, how will I be able to cover up? You understand? So one is just all about trend. Trend affects that a lot. Trend affects that a lot because there's inconsistency in the market. So we try to meet up. That is why in the long run, you'll get to hear some platform dropping a message for their customers like we can continue this due to some certain reasons that we won't disclose to you. They can't function like they can't pay up again. We just tell you, give you certain amount of time, withdraw your money, we are closing. So some
Delisting
of
that
them get
particular pair.
so some of them will get to merge with other people to actually find another product because they've actually realized their mistake and all of that. So that is what just happened during that time. So I don't know if that has been able to give answer to your questions.
Yes, yes, yes. That has been able to. Meanwhile, you were trying to um, shed on the opportunities. Okay. Seems you left that untouched.
Okay, the opportunities in DeFi.
Yes, yes, yes.
Now I said something about it. I said something about it. And what I said during the when I was having that conversation is this. Now we have three aspects in DeFi which are very very significant. Every other thing is just Jara. And now we're talking about staking. We are talking about lending, and we are talking about youth farming. Liquidity provision still have to do with youth farming.
Yeah.
And now I said, if you are to pick any of these opportunities now, it is for you to be there on time and look at the chances of you making money in future. That was why I started giving the story of pancake swap and cake, how cake got to where it is today. And me personally, I've looked around like I don't see, I don't see future for cake anymore. Do you understand? So now, just observe the market and look at the current trend and know where you can put your money. To get it. Now, those are the three opportunities always there. But look at the current trend, look at the current happening in the space and know where you can put your money. You might look at it and say, okay, stable coin will favor you more. Then you look for where you can stake your stable coin. You might look at it this way and say, okay, a lot of people are building new projects. Let me consider staking any of these blockchain-based products like Algorand, like Ether, like BNB, like Cardano, like Solana, Avalanche. You get it? Because people will build. So you just for you to look for a very nice platform to go stake all these things. And if you are lending your money also to any lending protocol for them to actually return interest for you, make sure you always lend stablecoin. You get it. Although stablecoin does not really have nice percentage, but it will help you to maintain value. So this advice is always for civil servants. You understand because you're planning to retire and the rest of. So now you just need to put your money where your mouth is. So always lend stable coin. Don't lend any other coin. Because when volatility affects this other coin you're lending, it's going to affect your money. And of course, sometimes everything does not go to the moon again. So but your stable coin will not go to the moon, but it will remain in the space.
Definitely.
And it will always appreciate over the fiat currency. So left to me, sir, I just consider that stablecoin is the best thing to hold.
Definitely.
Stablecoin is the best thing to hold. So if you get to get a nice platform where you can lend your stablecoin, let them use it and do their business, it's none of your problem. Whenever the lending period ends, you bring back your coin and you have small thing on top. And when you want to convert it to fiat, you're a big man. So imagine USDT that was sold at the rate of less than 300 naira is sold for 570 something naira, 580. So now imagine you had 100 USDT you bought last year for 500 and we were complaining that USDT is 500. So let's just
Today
say
is
times.
over
uh So that's 50,000 naira. Now let's say I sold this morning, I sold 580. So
580.
let's say that's, yeah, let's say that same USDT is 580 times 100. That's 58,000. You understand? It's appreciating. So
Yeah.
so if within a short period of time, if within a short period of time, like within let's say 3 months or how many months, I'm able to make 8K and my money is still there and I'm not panicking. Anytime I need it, I get it. There is still more to that. That USDT will get to 1,000 naira per one. And when I check it, I'm still hodling. I mean, I'm hodling USDT now. I'm not hodling.
But you know that
So,
this privilege is only applicable to us in especially in this part of the world, Nigeria, for instance. Okay, because our money is devaluating against the US dollar every day. Okay, so we are moving from started from we've been moving from 360 to 400 for 400. Now we are 580 and we're heading towards 1,000. So so who knows? So that's why your USDT is going to the moon.
yeah, my USDT is going to the anything stable coin, be it DAO, be it VAL, be it TUSD, USDC, anything stable coin is going to the moon in Africa.
It's going
You
to the
understand?
moon. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to the moon. So it's just for you to, because sometimes when I look at the market, I just open it, I check. I look at what do I need to buy. I don't buy anything. I just shut down my PC, go back to my desktop. You understand? Pay me in USDT, don't worry. Let me hold it. You understand? It's really to give me more prestige. But it's still applicable in other parts of the world, you understand? Reason being that inflation sometimes is always a general thing. You get it? It does not affect one person. So just let's say what is happening between Ukraine and Russia currently.
Okay.
If their war is over and they are starting from the scratch and you are holding USDT, you're a big man, you live fine. Because the exchange rate then will always be very high. Get it? It's always
Yeah.
very high. So kudos to those who are hodling USDT in Russia
To
and
the moon.
Ukraine. I take yeah, I take part in their fights.
To the moon.
So yeah,
All
to the
right.
moon.
So you talked about volatility, and I like to draw attention to that because it really affects what we do in DeFi, especially when we talk about yield farming. Okay, we know that already he earlier he explained that we have a lending, we have a staking, we have yield farming, which has to do with liquidity providing. Okay, so yield farming is a great way to earn passive income in DeFi, just like we have um, staking. But in yield farming, you have to bring a base pair, another pair also, and then uh, you you put that in that lending platform, okay, to earn rewards, okay. So one of the problems, okay, if you have done yield farming, I mean, sometimes one of the challenge we have, okay, from yield farming is that when you're withdrawing your money, it loses value from when you are deposited because of market volatility. All right, that's why I had to draw your attention. Okay, and that problem is what we call the impermanent loss, okay, in yield farming. Okay, when your money has lose value as from when you made the deposit. Okay, so and of course we are here to make money, so nobody wants to you wouldn't it wouldn't be nice, okay, if you put your money into a farming, okay, to make money for you, okay, and then when you take your money out of the platform, your money has dropped in value. Okay, so and that's a problem. Okay, so how would you really address this problem? And I think I like to draw attention to those of us who are going into want to go into DeFi, that this is one of the disadvantage of yield farming. Okay, so you should be prepared, okay, to experience this sometimes, okay, especially when you're not using a stable currency pair. Probably this is why you are so inclined to stable currency, because you're trying to avoid all the market volatility and all of that. Okay, but outside of that, okay, if you're using a volatile market, your money, okay, could be exposed to this problem of impermanent loss. So how would you really address this problem, okay, we face in DeFi?
Okay. That's actually been a major problem. You
Yeah,
understand? Because you
exactly.
have minor problem and major problem. So it's actually a major problem. You see, okay, let's go back to something. When that problem will be solved completely is when we are able to match, we are able to match cryptocurrency with fiat currency. You get it? That $1 worth of BTC remains $1 worth of fiat money. But it is technical. The market will stop being volatile. But we are not we are not yet there, and we are not planning to get there, because when we get there, crypto will not be useful anymore. You understand? Crypto will not be useful because the reason why we are all pushing for all these things is just that it's giving us money. You understand? So if we get to a point whereby we don't have the volatility we have now, it will not people will look for another thing where they can put their money. Probably any other thing, I don't know. But we haven't gotten to that point. So for all this, because of this thing now, and it's now let me tell you, volatility is not actually a bad thing. You get it, but it's nobody's friend. So it is because of volatility that you are able to be a big boy that you are today in the space. That I'm able to get to where I am today. That I've been able to lose the money I've lost, and you've been able to lose the money you've lost.
Of course, of
and
course.
you and you've been able to make the money you've
Back the
made.
money you've lost.
So that is the way it is. So if you take volatility out of your market, you see the game is not making sense anymore. You get it? So what I would advise people to do when it comes to liquidity provision and all this whole stuff, you see, I always advise people to provide liquidity based with the currency that that particular project is built on. You get it? let's talk about Uniswap because that's actually a very nice place to provide liquidity. Uniswap, you get it. So you're trying to provide liquidity on Uniswap, and you're providing liquidity for Ether and USDT pair because that's how it goes. You get to see now when you are withdrawing your this thing. Now the volatility will not really affect your Ether because of the way Ether is. You get it? And now the gain you've made will be able to equate some of the loss you have because Ether now currently acts somehow like a stable coin, even if BTC is trying to follow the same trend. You get it? Because now BTC is acting like a stable coin. So you move from 30 to 40 and you are down again to 30. So you are just dancing around. So you get to see now that Ether is moving from that range of 1,000 to 5K, 4K, and for a very long time it will be at 3K. So if you provide liquidity at that point, and when you make gain at that period of time, your coin is still there for you. You get it? So it is safer for you because Ether is not very volatile. It's just it's just slow but steady. Like Ether moves, it's just slow but steady. Like you don't really see volatility affecting Ether. And some of all these other coins too that can withstand volatility are not using liquidity provision. I think builders should also look at opportunities in that era. You get to look at coins like LTC. You get to look at coin like Bitcoin Gold. You get to look at coin like Monero. Those coins don't really experience volatility that much. You get it. People don't talk about them. So when you're interacting with any protocol you're providing liquidity for, always look out for all those things. You understand? So it's just like you going to Pancake Swap to provide liquidity for Kick and BNB. Give me some few minutes. I'm coming. Just for you to provide liquidity for Kick and BNB, you get to see that BNB will drop in value, not quite well. Cake will also drop. Now just imagine that you provide liquidity when you bought cake at the rate of $40 and you're still shouting cake on. Even if they give you how many cake, it will not be able to equate your loss. But there's some fraction of ether that will be given to you. You'll be happy because you know what you're holding. So let's always look for a very strong project and provide liquidity for, and also let the pair always be in stable coin. Always make sure stable coin is among the pair so that it will not always take your money for vanishing. That's just my own simple advice. So it's not like, see, there is more to DeFi. So it's not about you staking your funds. It's not about you providing liquidity, but it's still technical in nature. So you need to think very fast. If it turns out the other way around, see, liquidity provision is like you trading futures. You understand? Like,
In a
like,
technical sense.
yeah, it's like you trading futures because of impermanent loss. So you're bound
Permanent
to
loss.
liquidation. So of course, when asset does not have value again, you only have quantity. So you always put that into consideration. That's what I would say to our audience.
All right, all right. And that leads me to the question I placed before this, but I have to bring this first. So between you farming and staking, okay, which would be your better strategy for passive income? I mean, we have talked about the big challenge, okay, with yield farming. So between yield farming and staking, which would be your better strategy for passive income?
It depends on what you are looking at for. You get it? So
Okay.
it might be now that making my retirement plan. You understand? Like that I want to, like, I'll soon leave the space. So so I want to retire from the space. So it might be now that I'm making my retirement plan. All my savings and salary should be paid in USDT. So I'll be able to stake my USDT. So in years to come, I'll go and stick my USDT. Maybe probably marry a wife or buy a house, or you will always have future plans. So it depends on what you
Definitely.
want, and you also have
Okay.
your side hustle. You get it. So if you are this kind of person that you have a future plan to meet up and you want to interact with DeFi, I think staking is good for you because it's good for me. So, but if you are staking, stake stablecoin because that is what will be able to uh, bring back your money. So just imagine, take a look at this. Since you've been buying assets, buying everything that is money, and just take a look at it that you're using that money to buy USDT. Like you're just buying $10, $20, $50, $100. There's still some assets that you bought for $200 and you saw nothing, but you don't want anybody to know. So come to think of it now that yeah, you don't want anybody
Hey,
to know. But they are nothing to write home about. You don't want anybody to know. So come to think of it now that all those years of buying, that the money was the money was used in buying USDT or BUSD. You'd have been a very big boy now. Like let's say you were buying USDT since USDT was 300, and now one of your USDT sold 500. Man, that is 2x of your money.
yeah,
And you're not staking that USDT, you're staking it. So you're making a whole lot. You get it? You're making a whole lot just from stablecoin. Let me tell you one trick that we're using to make money back then. A very simple trick. But it was always funny somehow. You see, when we were still interacting with Naira and exchanges, like when we can sell straight from Binance, that was when P2P business was paying very well.
okay,
You get it? Now, the the USDT value is always more than the Naira value. You get it? So what we do then is for us to buy from individuals, go and sell this USDT to the USDT Naira pair on Binance. Then withdraw the Naira and use that same Naira again to buy USDT at a lower rate and go and sell to Binance again. So just imagine you were just buying USDT that period and you are stocking your USDT. Ah, by now, what is 10,000 US dollars that you cannot bring out just from only USDT that you've been buying? So just think of a way, think of what you want for yourself and know where will favor you. Now, we've talked about the youth farming, we've talked about staking. So just know in this other part of the world, your money will have impermanent loss. But when it booms, it booms. But it's better for you to stay where you have peace of mind and continue your chase. You get it, and continue your chase. So, and don't forget, anything that has to do with blockchain is always a serious business. So it's until you start treating it as business, that's when you start making gain. Because in the long run, we still end up putting more money in DeFi protocol than taking. We take less. But if we are able to put more money and at least take $1 out and we still have our capital, and that's when we are being productive. So if you are a trader or if you are a DeFi specialist or whichever thing people like to give to themselves, and you are not in that era of you taking at least $1 from a particular thing you are doing to buy food and eat without you putting more money, then you are not yet productive. So we should treat DeFi as business. Let's take it as other business. So that is just it. So it's left for you to think of the future plan you have, which one will be better for you. Then you go with it. But as for me, it's always staking, and the staking have to be done in stablecoin.
well, I like to say that I like your perspective, okay, of being very moderate, okay, with your investment, okay, which is going for the lesser evil, which is you find in a USDT. Okay, but for some of us, we would still continue to take the risks of finding volatile pair, okay, because that's where we find the money. All right,
That is
so
where the money is. But me, I
yeah,
put my money where my mouth is.
okay, that's great. So, we are here to have a conversation and to see a different perspective and all of that. Meanwhile, if you have any question before we call this up in few minutes, you could drop your question in the comment section so that we can attend to them before we end this call. All right. So, just before we let you go, I like to ask this two questions so you can just tackle them at once. First, what are the red flags? Okay, you would look out for, okay, before you invest into DeFi. Already understand that you're a very conservative investor. And secondly, what DeFi project are you bullish on? Okay, at the moment.
Man, this question is actually very technical because me currently I don't give financial advice, you understand? I only make recommendations because maybe there are still a whole lot of persons who hear, oh, we have Altcoindaddy in the building, and a lot of them go to Google to search about me, and they get to find out that okay, he's a Binance Campus ambassador, he works with BNB chain. So anything he's saying right now, that is where the money is. You understand? So I try to avoid that because a whole lot of persons are just trying to hear what you say so that they will jump in because people don't really have directions. They just want to hear it from you. Just like what happened between Dodge and Elon Musk when he had an interview and people bought Dodge expecting him to say something. Some even said, brother, please say something about Dodge now, if he's going to the moon or not. And he never said anything, and Dodge dropped. So it could be now that if I say I'm bullish on cake, boom, people will go and buy cake, and tomorrow cake could be $20. So I don't want to make that mistake. So, but
Okay.
I'll tackle it in a way. Okay, let's start by talking about the red flag. Sometimes when you look at so many DeFi protocols, you get to see some of them have a lot to offer. You hear things like Spirit Swap, Half Swap, DD Swap, different things have swap now, and all these swap have lending and staking and liquidity provision. One thing you need to do, you need to be security conscious because once you interact with any of these swap, now you've given them access to do anything they want to do. You get it? Because it has to do with the connection of wallet and the rest of. So what I would advise people to do with this, you stick to the protocols you already know that have actually existed for a very long period of time and people talk about them. Protocols like the MakerDAO, Compound Finance, YFI, that's Yen Finance. So there are a whole lot that have actually stood there for a very long period of time. You understand? And we know people who are pushing them. So that is always one thing for me. So I don't look at the game because if I try to look at the game, I've seen APRs at 1,000. I've seen some 5,000. You get it. But in a long period of time, you get to see you stake your funds and those you can't even get your staked fund out, talk less of your gain. So always try to stick to these ones that are relevant. Although the gain might be small, but if you have a very nice strategy and you have other things you do, you always be productive and you have peace of mind. So those are the things we should look out for. Number one is security. Number one, how often has this thing been in existence? How often do people talk about it? Are they verified? So many things to look out for. You understand? So it's easier for me to tell you to stake your money in compound finance and you agree with me than for me to tell you to go and stake your fund in car swap. You get it? You tell me to give my reasons. And I'll tell you, compound finance has actually been there. They are still existing. MakerDAO is there. They are still existing. And people are putting money every day in this protocol. So forget about the game. Always look out for all those things so that you have your money back. Then As for the DeFi project which I'm bullish on, uh, it's just USDT.
I was expecting that. I was expecting that. All
No,
right, so
I'm always bullish on anything stablecoin. In fact, I'm a stablecoin I'm a stablecoin hunter now. Like be it DAO, be it VAL, be it BUSD, be it TUSD, be it USDC, be it Tether, anything stablecoin now. Like I'm bullish on that. Anything stablecoin, I'm bullish on that.
so guys, go and buy more stable coins to your bag because we are going to the moon. We are going to the
Just
moon with
bad. So
Altcoindaddy.
if anybody asks me now, what should you buy? And truth be told, those guys who were telling people to buy stablecoin, then they were not making a mistake. But somebody will say stablecoin is not moving, but it's moving. It's moving. So
It
buy more
does.
stablecoin. If you want to be happy, buy more stablecoin.
And if you want peace of mind,
Still buy stablecoin.
you know.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, guys. I think we have had a well spent time. Just before we go, if you have any question, just leave it on the comment section. Okay, let's attend to it before we end this conversation. But it has really been a very interesting time. Okay, so far. Um, so it's really been a very interactive and interesting section. Okay, right here. Okay, with the Altcoin Daddy. I did not mention earlier. He's the ambassador, right? For Binance Smart Chain. Okay.
Yeah, I do a whole lot of stuff. I'm a campus ambassador for Binance Exchange, and I'm a community manager for BNB Chain. That's Binance Smart Chain Africa. So when you come to Binance Smart Chain Africa, you always see Altcoindaddy, and I do a whole lot of stuff. I'm an NFT artist, and I just do a whole lot of stuff. I'm just blockchain myself.
Interesting. All right. So thanks for having us. Um, thanks for having us in this conversation, and thanks for sharing your deep insight. Okay, on DeFi. Okay, it's really been a very interesting conversation here with you. I hope we can always have this again. All right. I'm sure we've learned a lot. Personally, I have. I'm sure someone has also learned a lot about DeFi. Okay, what DeFi is all about. If you've been hearing about DeFi, I mean, this is an opportunity to really know what actually goes on in DeFi. Okay, so it's really been a very educating moment here. So I'd like to thank you very special for honoring this invitation.
All right. Actually, nice being here with you guys, and I believe this is last time. We'll still get to talk about so many things in the space because we have a whole lot. We have a whole lot. So what we
Yeah,
say, okay, let's have our shift from cryptocurrency. Let's just have a shift from that and look at the blockchain as a whole. So if you are looking at the blockchain as a whole, that is where we have a whole lot of opportunity, and not only in cryptocurrency. So that's just it.
yeah, that's quite correct because a lot of persons are um, a lot of persons are already glued to looking at charts. Okay, um, trading cryptocurrencies when there are a lot of other opportunities to look
That's
into.
actually
Yeah, so
that is actually the traditional method of looking at a blockchain.
yeah, it's more of a gateway to a lot of us. Okay, so as we advance, we begin to understand that beyond looking at the charts, there are other opportunities to look out for. Okay, so
Yes.
for
Yeah, sure. Everybody has to start from there.
yeah, for reference purpose, how would the audience reach you? Because this video is going to be on the YouTube channel. Okay, someone can always make reference to it. So how would audience get to reach you? Is there some way they can reach you? Twitter, whatever. Okay.
Okay. If you actually want to reach out to me, I'm always open for questions. That is when I'm free. You can always reach out to me on Twitter. That is at altcoin_daddy. That is where I'm very, very active. You can also reach out to me on Telegram. That is at Altcoindaddy on Telegram. Then you can always reach out to me on WhatsApp. As on 081 74529878. That's my WhatsApp line. But I'm not always open for call. So just text, I will reply even if it's the midnight, and we'll get to discuss. Just tell me you're from John, and I will get to answer all your questions. Just tell me you're from John, and always go straight to the point. So that's just where you can reach out to me.
All right, thank you very much. Um, we have a comment here. Wow, insightful. Thank you, Mr. John and Altcoin Daddy for today. Just before you go, this is your name, Altcoin Daddy. It's really interesting. Can you just give us something about this your Altcoin Daddy name? Okay.
Okay, I think people ask me that question, and the last question, and the last place people asked that question was in Futo. That was last month because I was in Futo. Now let's break it down.
Okay.
Before now, when I started trading, I was not trading BTC. I cannot trade BTC. You understand? So then I just look out for opportunities where I can buy altcoins and store them and make them money. Then before Doge went to the moon, I saw it that day. I was sitting down with Skyro. Then that was back then in Calabar. And all of a sudden, Doge got to 5 naira for the first time in how many years? That was even before Elon Musk started talking about it. And I told Skyro, there's more to Doge. Oh." He said, eh, he don't know, but this actually is his point. I said, let's pay attention to it. And Doge went to the moon after that conversation. Then during the time of BNB, I was only like I was saving my money in BNB because I saw the future for it. So in fact, my name then was BNB, not Altcoin Daddy, because whichever pair I want to trade, then if it does not have BNB, I don't trade because I always want to keep my BNB. Then people ask me, what do you want us to buy? I tell them buy BNB, because I felt like okay, the opportunity was there for stable coins to come up. Then BNB went to the moon. Another coin which I saw the future was Digibyte. Digibyte did very massively, and Sia coin. So I look out for all those. Then another one is BTG. That's Bitcoin Gold. So like I don't pay attention to all these currency like Solana. People try to look out for, like I go beyond, like pick up. Even the one that surprised me the most was FTN. You understand? I saw the future for FTM and I told people in my group, go get FTM when FTM was 50 cents. The same day I gave that call, some people bought that and they made a whole lot of money. You know this guy, you know Digital Swap.
Yes, I know him, Emmanuel Jacobs.
Yeah. There was a time he met me in you. We were talking and he told me, Daddy, what should I buy? I told him buy Gala. And I thought he thought I was playing. Then he bought Gala. When Gala went to the moon, he called me and said, Daddy, send me your account number. You understand? I want to buy you Gala now. And he
Mm.
sent me money. So I always look out for the future of altcoin. And now that is why they call me altcoin. Number one. Then the daddy aspect is this. Like in my space, I don't have boys to get it. Like if we get to interact, I train you, you become somebody. I don't call you a boy. You're always a boss and a master. So everybody's just my children, you understand? So let's relate in that fair. I know people will get to grow and the rest of, so I don't say this is my boy. So everybody's just my children. So to merge that together, that's why I became more kind that.
All right. That's
So
really an
that's just
interesting story behind the name.
yeah.
Altcoindaddy. Okay, hopefully we'll have someone to take the other name, Altcoin Mommy.
Yeah, I have Altcoin mommy and she's currently disturbing me, so that's why I need to leave this call right now.
Oh,
That's
okay,
why
okay,
yeah,
all
I need to
right.
leave this call right now.
Okay, all right, guys. Thank you very much for staying with us. To our audience, we really appreciate staying with us all through. We hope to have this conversation next time. All right. Thanks everyone for being a part of this conversation around NFTs, DeFi, GameFi. Until then, we will have another session, okay, like this. Thank you very much, guys. All right, you can always reach out to me. Okay, there'll be a link in the description. If you have any question, okay, anything you want to address, you can always reach out to us from this thing on the description of this video. All right, guys. Uh, we'll see you next time.
All right, take care.
Uh,